Eating like Emma Chamberlain in Paris. In this video, I'm going to be eating the foods that Emma Chamberlain ate while she was in Paris. So I'm going to be basing myself off of this video, and I'm also going to be taking some elements from this video since the one in Paris isn't like an entire day of eating. But before I get into the actual food, I have some things to say. So I had been getting requests to review what certain people ate, and at first I wasn't comfortable with that for three main reasons. The first reason is that I encourage intuitive eating and eating things specific to you and what you crave, and I don't feel like dissecting every single thing that another person eats can necessarily be helpful. Also, I know firsthand that what I eat in a day videos aren't representative of what you eat all the time, and watching one video isn't like sufficient to make an assumption about how the person eats. And finally, I don't want to criticize or judge other people's food choices. I think that food choices are very personal and these people can eat what they want. So that's why I'm not going to be doing this the traditional way. But I know that a lot of you like these videos because they give you some food ideas, and also they can be a fun way to give you some nutritional advice. And I also know that you like my what I eat in a day videos, so I decided to mix it up a little. I'm going to be eating like certain people. So today it's going to be Emma, and then I'm going to be analyzing how I feel and maybe what I would have done for myself. So it's all about me and not really about what she does, and I'm just basing myself off of her food choices to do that. Also, I am a nutritionist, but I am not a doctor, I'm not a registered dietitian, and I'm certainly none of these things to Emma specifically. It's really about using what she eats as a basis for eating myself, and then using that to give you some nutritional information. Hopefully all of this makes sense. Hopefully you kind of get the distinction there and you're excited to watch. So the first thing I have to do is I have to go buy the stuff that she eats. I have some of it, but not all of it.
My best friends, we start to plan what we will do. Now life's back in color and everything's feeling brand new.
So I am back from this shopping spree, and I got all the stuff to eat for this video, also stuff, you know, not for this video, which I told myself I wouldn't do. But so the first thing I'm going to do is make coffee. I actually bought coffee specifically for this video because I don't drink coffee, but then I thought you can't make a video eating like Emma Chamberlain and not eat coffee. Like, she has her own coffee brand. So in her video, she has her breakfast lunch at 12 at noon, and that's what I'm going to be doing. It's like a little past noon right now, and I'm going to be having this as my breakfast. My first time making coffee from this coffee machine. I also bought the exact almond milk that she has in her video, and she said it's like the best almond milk ever. I personally prefer soy milk because I think, first of all, it tastes better to me, and also it has more protein. I feel like almond milk, you know, it doesn't give you much, but if you prefer almond milk, then that's fine, as long as you're getting protein from elsewhere. It's not even fortified in calcium. So to be honest, this nutrition-wise is, you know, not giving you much. So again, this is why I prefer calcium fortified soy milk. But for the sake of this video, I'm having this. And also it costs like super expensive. It's ridiculous. This is actually so good. I had sugar, was ready to add sugar, don't need any. Okay, this is really good. I actually really love the taste of coffee. I just don't drink it every day. I drink it really rarely. I drink it whenever I've had like a bad night's sleep, or if I have like lots going on and I feel like it's gonna help me, give me like an energy boost. I like to have it as a treat, and that way when I do have caffeine, it like really works. It's not that it's bad or anything. I studied it a lot, and for me, the downsides of coffee and like the benefits are kind of outweigh each other. So it's kind of about what you prefer. I made an entire video on the pros and cons of coffee if you're interested, right here. Okay, now that the coffee is in my system, I'm going to make some breakfast. Okay, so now for her breakfast slash lunch, I'm having it as a breakfast because she's having it as noon, as am I, but it's like her first meal of the day, and that's because she is jet lagged and so she has trouble adjusting to the different time zones. And I think this is a great way to illustrate that you don't necessarily have to eat like your meals at set times. You can totally do what works for you, and if you're traveling and you happen to be hungry at the time, at a time which isn't like a dinner time or lunchtime or whatever where you are, it's okay to listen to your hunger cues and to eat then, unless of course you have like a social obligation to eat with like somebody else at a specific time. She is having like a salad with eggs. She's having 2 eggs. I don't eat eggs, like I do a little bit, but I like use them as like preparation for stuff. I rarely just eat eggs plain, and I'm only gonna be having 1. I know she has 2, but yeah, I think 1 is already a big effort on my part. And also she has it like hard boiled, which it's like my least favorite way of eating eggs, but here we are, I'm gonna do it as well.
Just like afternoon croissants, strolling over bridges that were built in Renaissance. Isn't that what every romance loving 20-something woman wants? Midnight in Paris, I've always heard there's magic in the air as you're watching people dance by sand. Midnight in Paris.
Okay, so I'm Googling how long to cook an egg until it is hard boiled, really hard, because Emma doesn't like her eggs to be runny. It says about 10 minutes. I have a salad. There's tomato under there. In her video, she had like something else. I didn't know if it was like cucumber or like a mozzarella. I didn't really know, so it's not there. So I have tomato, I have like mixed greens, and then I saw she also ate some bread with butter, so I have that right here. This is obviously a much lighter breakfast than what I usually eat, but it's also like really much later than when I usually eat, so I'm hoping that it'll be fine, and I'll be just fine to wait until lunch, which will be probably like an hour or 2 later, let's be honest. Also, to talk about bread, I think that bread, if you're able to find a good quality bread that's like whole wheat bread with lots of fiber, then it's a great addition to a meal. Like without bread and butter, this meal would have lasted me maybe like 10 minutes in terms of hunger, in terms of like satiety. But now with this bread that has like full of fiber, the butter has fat, and that will make it much more filling. I wouldn't have bread be like your main carb source for every single meal, but it's fine. This is so long. Like I feel like I've been chipping away at it for 5 hours, and this is the only amount of shell that I've removed.
She in her own lane, no, she nothing like them other types. She likes, this line so smooth you could cut it with a butter knife. So it's message on message, bet in her presence like heaven, hoping that she feel the same. Strong 10 light 11, blessed my retina's getting excited to call you babe. Fresh to death, but I feel alive. Might send a text to some girl online. I'll get this off my chest, she been on my mind. Think we could get it right, we could get it right this time. We could get it right, we could get it right this time. Hey, what's goody? I think you stole my heart, maybe you.
So I'm finished with this first meal, and to be honest, it was much better than I expected. When I saw that I would be eating like a big salad as like my first meal, I wasn't too excited about it, but actually it was really good, really fresh, and definitely filling. I think, however, that it's because there's like a lot of volume, but it was like pretty low calorie, so I'm probably gonna be hungry in maybe a couple of hours. That tends to happen when you fill up your stomach with food that is really like nutrient dense. So there's lots of nutrients, lots of volume, little calories. So, you know, you're gonna feel pretty full. Then that's just because it's like taking up space, but then maybe in a couple of hours, you're going to be hungry again. And this is why I like to pair like these high volume foods with other like calorie dense and also nutrient dense foods, and like carbs and fat and protein. And maybe for people who are trying to gain weight, this can be an issue, because if you're eating like high volumes of food that have like little caloric density, then you're not able to get in like all the calories you need because you're feeling stuffed physically. And in this case, don't hesitate to add maybe some nuts, some olive oil, some like high fat foods like avocado, butter on bread like I did, like she did. That's also a great way to make the meal a little bit more filling. So it's about 2.5 hours later. I am really hungry and I'm going to be having some lunch. Now, she doesn't explicitly have a lunch in the video, but she does show a lot of different foods that she has in her fridge and that she ate like throughout the day. So that's what I'm gonna be having. So in her video, she shows some fruit, which I got. She got like more than me, but these are like so expensive, so this was like the best I could do. And then she has some hummus, and I'm gonna make my own because it's like better and cheaper, so I'm gonna be showing you that. And then she also has like carrots, like she says that she can't reach, doesn't know what it is, but it's like carrots with lemon juice. And I actually like went to a different store to get the exact same ones that she has, so I think these are the exact same ones. And then I'm also gonna be having some bread like with the hummus. This is again not going to be a very filling meal probably, but it's fine because it's already like pretty late, and then I can have dinner not too late.
I think you stole my heart, maybe you can steal my hoodie. Right from the start, I could tell that you're different. That's my perspective, my vision, the message is sent. You fell from heaven, but ain't got a dent. Triple that 7, I'm lucky to know you. You got me letting each one of my friends know about you. Looking fresh to death, but I feel alive. I send a text to some girl online. I think this off my chest, she been on my mind. Think we can get it right, we can get it right this time. We can get it right, we can get it right this time.
So sorry about that. My battery ended up dying, and so I kind of finished everything off camera, but it's fine because there's not much to it. Basically, I just like washed the fruit and then put them on the plate. I put the carrots on the plate, the hummus, you know, this is as close to hummus as I could get. Taste-wise, it's the same taste, but since the texture isn't the same, it just doesn't feel like you're eating hummus. But that's okay. Hopefully Emma will, you know, forgive me for that. And then for bread, so I'm using like this is the half of the bread that I had this morning. This is like the high fiber, like really healthy bread. And I'm also using this, which is not as healthy. While I was making this, I was really hungry because I was already pretty hungry to begin with, but then I had this hummus situation, which added like 30 minutes to making my meal. And I would have normally like just like blend it and then it would be fine, but then I had to like try to fix the blender and then that didn't work, so I had to smash it by hand and that took like forever. And so by the time it was time to eat, which is now, I'm like starving. So what ended up happening is that I ended up snacking on, like I had like a slice of toast like that on its own with like some of the hummus and then some of the carrots. And you know, I had that on camera, but then the battery died. But anyways, the point is, this will happen if you let yourself get too high, low on the like hunger and fullness scale. So if you let yourself get to like a really starving situation when you're really hungry, you're just gonna start eating as you cook because you're like so hungry. So you're just gonna eat whatever is there. And usually when I sense this happening, what I do is I just take like 5 minutes to get like a snack, like a healthy little snack. I just have that for 5 minutes and then I resume my cooking situation because I know that if I don't do that, I'm just gonna be eating throughout the whole cooking. These fruit are so good. I totally agree with her when she says that fruit in France is just much better in general. That's totally true. I have no idea why, but our fruit just tastes so much better. Every time I go to the US and I taste fruit, not just like berries, just any type of fruit, it just does not taste as good. Also in the wintertime when fruit isn't in season, certain fruits, you can totally get them frozen. I say this all the time, but it's a really great way to still get in some fruit and vegetables if you get them frozen. And then I also wanted to talk about this meal, which actually is just a bunch of different kind of snack foods, I would say, kind of put together. And that's totally fine to have. It's fine to have a meal that's made up of like snack type foods and that's not like a fully cooked dish. That's okay as long as the foods, or at least most of them, aren't processed. I've seen, for instance, people, they will make plates and to give their kids, and there's like Cheetos and then pretzels and then cheese slices and then like half a strawberry. So obviously that's not the healthiest and you don't want to be doing that all the time. But if you're having like foods like this, so it's pretty balanced actually. The only thing for me is that it's not as filling as the meals that I usually would go for. But what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to have dinner earlier and have more dinner, which is again fine. So I am back for dinner. To be honest, I'm really hungry. So I had actually a spoonful of cashew nut butter while I was waiting for dinner because Emma says that sometimes she has that as a snack.
Any jar of nut butter I can find, and I'll just take a spoonful of it and eat that.
And then in the video that I'm basing myself off of, like when she's in Paris, she doesn't talk about dinner. So I looked at another video. It's not hers, it's like from Harper's Bazaar, like what she eats in a day. And I found that she likes to eat pasta with nutritional yeast and pesto.
I will also make pasta. I love garbanzo bean pasta. And then I just make that and I put pesto on it in nutritional yeast.
When she says that she eats like chickpea pasta, I went to the store to find that, could not find it, but I did find like lentil pasta, which is like the same idea. To be honest, I was not mad about that because I hate chickpea pasta. Let's be totally honest. I mean, I just don't like the taste. I don't think it tastes really good. And also I had chickpeas a few hours ago in my hummus, so really not mad about this. And then I also got some pesto and I also got some nutritional yeast. To be honest, I used to love nutritional yeast and put it like on everything, but now I got a little bit sick of it and I don't have it anymore, so this will be a good occasion to get back into it because it has lots of good nutrients for everyone, especially vegans and vegetarians, because it's a good source of B12, but it's also a great source of protein and fiber and iron and like other minerals. And I made a video on nutritional yeast a really long time ago. But yeah, you can still go check that out in the description or right here.
Sitting in silence, we still feel the vibe, and you could not say a word, and I know what you just.
Well, here is my dinner. She said that she had a huge plate of pasta and then she had only that.
Decided we'd be right in the same wave. Oh, the water's perfect, babe. The heat is rising, the time is melting from my fingertips. So nothing compares to this. Nothing ever will compare to this.
So this meal was really good, really filling. To be honest, I do prefer like regular pasta. I'm a big pasta fan, so I'm not a huge fan of like pasta alternatives like chickpea pasta or lentil pasta or like any other type of pasta. I do love whole wheat pasta though, and that's the one I really recommend because it has a good content, like a good fiber and protein content as it is. And yes, if you enjoy it, chickpea pasta and like lentil pasta is a great way to get even more protein. And the one that I had 26 grams of protein per 100 gram of pasta, and then the whole wheat pasta that I get, it's like 16 grams of protein for 100 grams. So that's definitely more protein. Also, the price is an important aspect. This was much more expensive than regular pasta for a smaller quantity. So of course that's something you want to think about. But if your budget allows it and if you like this type of pasta and you just want to have a quick meal that has like enough protein and fiber without kind of thinking about it too much, that's definitely a great alternative and definitely something I recommend. However, this doesn't mean that every single time you want to have pasta, you have to have this type of pasta. And also she mentions in the video, she's like, where are the vegetables? Nowhere to be found. And that's actually okay, because if you had like lots of veggies throughout the day like I did with her meals, then you're totally fine like skipping veggies for like one meal. Obviously eating fruit and veggies at every meal is a good guideline, but it's fine if you kind of balance things out throughout the day and it's not like every single meal has like a bunch of fruit and veggies. So that's the end of this video. I'm done with Emma Chamberlain's meals of the day, and to be honest, I was pretty satisfied with the meals. I feel like she doesn't obsess over everything she eats, but she's able to make it balanced and to have like a good amount of each nutrient in her meals throughout the day. Also, it's important to keep in mind that not every single meal needs to look like the perfect picture perfect meal that you have in your head. Like not every breakfast needs to look like breakfast food, etc. You can totally have a bunch of different foods and then like different like snacky foods and make that into a meal, as long as it's like whole foods mainly, and you're not just opening like a bunch of different processed snacks. I did want to keep some aspect of this to be like intuitive eating, because since I wasn't like deciding on the foods that I wanted to eat, I did want to decide on the times, so I wanted to eat when I felt like hungry, so that was interesting. But in general, good meals, lots of variety, and I am aware that she didn't eat like these entire meals in one day, but since she does say that these are meals that she frequently has, I mean, I'm guessing she could totally have that combination. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Let me know if there are people that you want me to eat like. I'm trying to find like vegetarian people, or at least like videos of them where they eat like vegetarian meals. That's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like it and subscribe, and see you on my next one. Bye.